computer. Okay, awesome. So we're just going to do a refresher and we're going to start back from the basics on asking. Now there's like 13 comments and I'm nervous that someone can't hear me or something's going on. Let me see. I almost need like a mediator to like watch the I can't look at the comments. It's distracting. If there's anything big, someone just like Dean or Ashley unmute yourself and yell at me, okay? You guys are like my helpers tonight. Okay, so back to asking. So I'm going to take you through some steps, guys, and I have a few slides to go through. We're going to do part of this call, depending on time, it'll all just be on asking. I would like to spend a little bit of time on what we call the golden hour, and then next week do a quick review on asking, because I want to work on just tidying up our resources again and our tools to make sure that, you know, what's important to me, and I'm going to make this my mission the next few months. I think our resources are better than they've ever been, but I still feel like it could be a more seamless process where, you know, I can say to my new consultant, oh, you're unsure how to ask? Well, how about you go to our team website and there's a site for asking and just check that out. And once you check that out, you can come ask me if you have any questions. What comes up after asking? Oh, okay, you scheduled a one-on-one, here's how to do it. So we can point people to where it is that they need to go. That's a duplicatable system, right? So I'm gonna be working on that in the background the next few weeks, but we're gonna start with some asking. And there are some tools that we even forget, like I even forget. I create them and I put them up there and then I don't necessarily look at them again. And I was looking through some of it last night. I'm like, we have some pretty cool things. Some of the things have to be tidied up, but we have some great resources. So we're going to go through some asking. And let me just get the first slide going. And this is, you guys have heard me say this one thing many, many, many times. But guys, like if you're feeling stuck in your business, even if you're not feeling stuck, like we won't grow and nothing will happen until we start asking people to take a look at our business, to take a look at our product, try our product, or to host a presentation. It's one of those three things we're asking for. And I really want you to like take that one sentence, nothing happens until you ask, and just get that ingrained in your mind. Because if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like your business isn't where it is, the only thing that you need to do right now is to turn up the dial on how much you're asking. That's the starting. I wouldn't even ask you guys to do anything else beyond that. Just start asking people to take a look. All right, that is so, so crucial. My goal with this team is that every single Monday, you guys set a goal for yourself of how many asks you're going to do for the week, right? Doesn't have to be some big, massive number, but what is a number that you can put on paper that you'll make a commitment to yourself on asking that many people to take a look? I'm not asking you guys to schedule. I'm not asking you to, you know, what's your number of how many you're going to schedule or how many PCs you're going to sign up or how many consultants or how much QV. All of those things are out of our hands. We don't know who will say yes to scheduling something. We don't know who will say, yeah, sign me up, I'm ready. We don't know any of that. We can't control that, but we can 100% control how many people we ask. So come Friday when we review our week, we can celebrate something that and start to build confidence in ourselves. So even if you said, I'm going to ask 3 people this week. And then on Friday, what you can do is you can celebrate that you asked 3. Good night. Love you. And you can celebrate that you asked your 3, right? I don't want you to say, I'm going to ask 50, and then you only ask 5, and then Friday you're mad at yourself for not asking your 50. Good night. Love you. Sure, guys, it's bedtime for the kitties. Go up. Go up.
What did that say?
They're all distracted. Okay, go. So tomorrow, you know, set that goal for yourself. So I did a video a while ago, and I'm not going to be able to play it because my computer doesn't have volume right now. You can't hear it. And I'm sure some of you have seen this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to post it on our team page after, and I really want you guys to watch it. And if you have newer consultants on your team, or if you have consultants who are feeling a little insecure or not so confident, or maybe like they feel like they're in a little bit of a funk, they're most likely in those places because they're not doing the asking, right? And this video it's short. It's like just over a minute, and it really shows them, you know, what happens if you don't ask. And it's just a great visual for them to see. And one thing that keeps coming up too for me before I switch the slide is, you know, years and years ago, there was a guy, Ed Ludbrook, who came to do a training in the Toronto area. And he really spoke about confidence and competence. And I think it's this little circle that we go about in our business where we feel like I can't do anything until I'm more confident in what I need to do, right? But we won't build confidence until we actually start getting getting out there and actually doing it, right? It's like I can read a book about how to ride a bike, but until I actually start riding a bike, will I be able to really learn how to ride a bike, right? So by gaining the skill, gaining competence, that will give us more confidence. But it's always like the chicken before the egg. Like we're always waiting. No, I need to know more. I need to understand this more. I need to know this better. No, the best way to learn, guys, is to go out and do. In my health coaching program, they talk about that. They said you're going to feel, one great tip they gave on the Friday, I was listening to it. And they were really just encouraging people to just go out and just start, go out there and coaching, and that you're not going to feel like you know what you're doing in the beginning, and be okay being a B student. Aim for being a B student, right? Because the people who aim to be an A student aim for perfection, and they'll become paralyzed in trying to aim for that perfection. Paralyzed meaning they won't do anything. But aim to be a B student. Aim to be just okay at it. Aim to just go out and do it to start, because we all suck in the beginning, right? It's true. We all aren't that great, and we develop the skills. The same way when you have a child who learns to walk, they're not great. When we start to learn how to ride that bike or do anything new, when you start a new job and you're learning something new, we're not good at it in the beginning, right? So we just really recommend that you get out there and you kind of just rip the Band-Aid off, get out there and do it. All right, so one thing that I've learned, and this is a huge thing that they talk about in Rank Makers, and I wanted to bring it to you guys here. Let me move this. Actually, I'm just gonna leave it there. Okay, so Ray Higdon really teaches a lot about posture, and that we wanna have really good posture when we're prospecting, which means we're asking people to take a look at what it is we're doing. So posture is the belief in what you have, regardless of external acceptance, approval, or agreement from the other person. Okay, and this is really, really huge for us. So we want to have belief in what we're doing in network marketing, regardless of what other people think. We don't need their acceptance. We don't need them to agree with what we're doing, and we don't need their approval. Because typically it's those three things that we're waiting for. And those are the three things that we're afraid of asking, because we're afraid we're not going to get acceptance, approval, or agreement, right? But because building that belief in what it is that we have, and I'm going to talk about a bit about that coming up. Here, let me get into that. Okay, so here's a great example he did. So he did an example about electricity. Okay, so if someone came up to you and say, hey, I was on WikiLeaks last night looking at things, and it turns out that electricity is a scam. Like if you had someone come up to you, what would you say? You would have amazing posture, because you know for a fact that electricity is real. You have full belief of it. You may not know how the heck electricity works, but you know that if you go and flick that switch, the lights are going to turn on, right? And you would have posture. So I want you to think about how you would feel and react if someone tried to tell you that electricity is a scam. And I'm wondering if you can go and have that same kind of posture and belief if someone stood in front of you and said that network marketing is a scam. Because just like we flick the switch on a light, right, and we know the electricity is real and that it works, our industry is the exact same. It's a solid, legitimate business, right, that is probably better than, not probably, I believe it is better than any other business out there for reasons that I'm going to speak about in a bit. But if we can have that same kind of posture where we would defend electricity, or we can defend our industry of network marketing. Okay, so the energy of prospecting. So maybe you want to maintain that kind of energy of that belief when you are prospecting people. So most network marketers don't have posture around their industry, right? Because when someone questions it, they crumble like a cracker, right? Someone will say to us, oh, that thing doesn't work. And that makes people crumble. Oh, it's a scam, or it's a pyramid. So here's a great example that Ray gave. I literally took this from his training. How much time would you spend convincing someone that your kid wasn't ugly if they said your kid was ugly? We wouldn't spend any time. It'd be like, this person is crazy. What are they talking about? My kid isn't ugly, right? But we know better than to spend any time trying to convince someone who's crazy enough to say that our kids are ugly, right? But we're not defending our industry. something that we know is legitimate, something that we know that works, because the many people have gone before. Anybody who can stand here and tell me it doesn't work, I would personally, then my posture would come up big time, because all the people have come before us and they have made it work. And we know that, and we have seen that success, which is why I've posted on Creation Nation for the next 100 days, one Ian Arbonne story is getting posted every day. And I highly recommend that you guys, I'm going to challenge you to go on and read the Ian Arbonne stories that I post every single day. And some of them are actually kind of cool. It was kind of good for me to go in and do that, because hearing of people who are like farmers, who are, you know, who have become VPs in Arbonne, just hearing the different reasons why people are starting, the hesitations that they had. So like the people have gone before us and they've made it work. So really, you know, you want to go and have that posture about our business. You don't need to have the success yet. You just need to tell them, listen, many people have gone before me and done it, right? I'm not there yet. I'm building it. But many people have gone before and it works, right? So we wouldn't try for a second to try to convince someone that our kid wasn't ugly. We wouldn't require the people to accept, approve, or agree that my kid's a good-looking kid, right? Yet when someone bad mouths network marketing, we actually do get that defensive, right? So we all want to maintain good energy. So here's another example that Ray gave. He gave a really great example that he did a meeting, and someone brought a guest, one of his reps brought a guest to the meeting. And after the meeting, he actually said, he described it like this. He had a really eager beaver rep and a too cool for school guest. Like the guest was like, yeah, I'm too good for this. Like, what is this network marketing thing? And what happened was the rep said to Ray, he goes, listen, this is my guest, so-and-so. And, you know, he listened, he was interested, but he wants to go and think about it. And this rep thought that Ray would go and try to convince this guy to sign up. You don't need to think about it, just do it. But Ray said, listen, we have a whole bunch of videos you can take a look at. We don't want people dipping their toes in the water. We want to make sure people are serious. So yeah, take your time and think about it. And the rep was pissed off because he thought that Ray would have tried to convince him to join. But the next morning after a team coffee, the rep actually went up to Ray to tell him, like, listen, after last night's meeting, I was never going to bring someone to you again because of what you did. But the guy last night signed up, right? Because we're not begging people to join our business. That is posture as well. We've all been in that place where I've done it, guys, where we've tried to convince people, you know, and we do that convincing typically because we have so few fish in our pond, or that's what we think, right? We put so little out there and we're not actually working our business enough. If we're working our business enough and asking people enough, we're not holding on to that one person. If we're not like sitting back and thinking, oh, they better join, I need that person to join this month. Because if we're consistently building, we have enough going on. So Ray wasn't snarky about it. He wasn't rude or mean. But guys, this is what is so important, what I want you to see here. We want to establish us as the prize. We treat it like, oh my God, they say yes. They said yes. We treat the people that we're prospecting like they are the prize, right? When our industry, our business, what we do, what we are offering is the prize. There are more people out there with no solution to the problems that they have, but we have the solution. People are out there with so many problems and have no idea how to solve it. We have the solution. So whether you have success or not, guys, we have access to the solution. So don't dance for them. Don't do this dance, right? Because we are the prize. Let's not make them the prize. Most people have no options. They don't know how the heck to get out of situations they are. Some people don't know how to lose the weight they want to lose. They don't know how to feel better about themselves. They don't know how to, you know, prevent aging or, you know, stop the aging process. They don't know how to do those things, but we have the solution. And our industry of network marketing is the lowest risk and lowest investment way to start a business. There's no other way to start a business this cheap, right? With the least amount of risk. So we have the capacity to take the average person, regardless of race, education, sex, size, anything, right? And create freedom if they choose to do so. It's really one of the only equal opportunities out there. So going through it, we're going to review two different kinds of asking just quickly. What I've been learning this last 6 months is that there are so many ways to ask, so many great ways to ask. I'm going to go through two simple, because just looking through our resources, I'm like, oh my gosh, we don't really have to look anywhere else on how to ask, because we have two great tools right here. I'm going to show you a direct approach and an indirect. Okay. And over the next few months, I will likely add more ways to ask to give you a variety of ways to ask, because there isn't just one way, okay? So the direct approach is what we've seen. It's the 4-point ask. It's super simple, guys. It's an icebreaker. It's your why. So it's 4 points, meaning there's 4 sections to it. Number 1 is an icebreaker. Number 2 is your why. Number 3 is I thought of you because. And number 4 is if I would you. So I'm going to be directly reaching out to people, people that I know, because I need to know them at least a little bit or something about them to do step number 3. So an icebreaker would be, hey, Sarah, it looks like you and your family had a great weekend at that dance competition. I'm not sure if you know, but I have a business with a health and wellness company, and I'm doing it for these reasons, right? List a reason or 2. Don't make this part number 2 too big, because we want to make it more about step number 3. I thought of you because I know you're passionate about health and wellness. I see the posts that you do on Facebook. I know that, I've seen you post a few times about, hating the commute to work, or whatever it is, whatever reason you think this would be great for them. And step 4 is simple. If I would send you a short video to take a look at, would you take a peek? That's it, right? You can craft 1, 2, and 4 right now. And that 1, 2, and 4 1 kind of needs to change. You can craft 2 and 4, right? Those don't need to change. 1 and 3 change every time you reach out to someone, right? Number 1's easy. Hey, how's it going? Been thinking about you, or it was great seeing you last week. It could be just something simple, just one little line opener. And then number 3 of why you think about them. Okay, super easy. And if we can just stick with this simple plan of these 4 steps for that 4-point ask, again, great way to build the business. Okay, and here's an indirect approach. I really like this one too, and I really love this, especially if people are new. I think this is like, sometimes I wish I was brand spanking new to go and be able to use this. But this is kind of an indirect approach, because we're not asking them to, we're not reaching out to them as if they're a prospect, but indirectly, like in our back of our mind, we're hoping that they'll be willing to listen, and that we can plant a seed in their head and we can pique their interest. So here's an example of an indirect approach. Hey, Sarah, how's it going? I'm reaching out because I've just started my own business with Arbonne. Or if you're not new, you can say, I'm not sure if you know, but I have a business with a company called Arbonne. It's a vegan health and wellness company. I've been using the products and love them. I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited too. The reason I'm texting is, as part of my training, I need to find 10 people who are willing to hear a 20-minute overview of Arbonne. I get that it may not be a fit for you personally, but I just need a set of ears. There's absolutely no obligation. Would you be willing to be one of my 10? If so, I'd love to meet for a cup of coffee, or we can set up a live video chat, and I'll send you some samples as a thank you. Okay? If some of that is written for a new person, if it was me writing, I've been doing Arbonne for 8 years. One thing I was saying last summer, because I was starting this approach, was, I'm doing a challenge with my team, and I need to get in front of 10 people in the next 30 days. Would you be willing to be one of my 10? So you can do the challenge approach, but you can't do that too often, right? Because we can't always be doing these challenges. Or you can just say, listen, I've set a goal with myself to really get some eyes and ears on this business, on what it is that I do. And I've set a goal for myself to get in front of 10 people in the next 30 days. Would you be willing to be one of my 10? So we're not asking them, I think you'd be great, or I'm pitching it to you. We really just want them to be eyes and ears. Okay, so that's an indirect approach. For those of you who are new, I would not hesitate about using this for at least the first 6 months of your business, right? In cycles of 10 people, you can be doing this. Okay, this is such a great way to approach people. Okay, so those are 2 different ways that we're going to ask, and those are the 2 only ones we're going to talk about tonight. I want to go into something in a sec. I just said I hear someone on. I'll leave it for now because I don't hear it. If you guys could just make sure you mute yourself, that would be helpful. Someone is not muted. All right, so looking through our resources, there's a great document that I came across called, sorry, I was reading the news before. Things to avoid. I was looking at our resources. Okay, things to avoid when prospecting. This was so cool. So this was actually in the Welcome to Arbonne S'more. So some of you, if you because you're not new, haven't maybe necessarily seen this. But I do want to update this welcome to Arbonne S'more, but this thing is in it. So I will post the new one once it's complete. But I thought this things to avoid was kind of cool. So things to avoid telling people half the story. This is when you're just out and about prospecting or just chatting with people. Avoid just putting out feelers and telling half the story, right? You want to be able to tell people the whole story. Otherwise, they make assumptions based on opinions and fears. And I'm going to just touch on that a little bit more. People tell half the story thinking it's enough to get someone to make a decision, right? So sometimes it's safe in a casual setting to tell half the story. And we feel like that we've asked them. I've kind of asked you. They know what I'm doing. People aren't going to go and say, hey, sign me up, or hey, I want to try that. We usually have to ask for an opportunity to tell them the whole story, right? That's one thing that I think a lot of people make a mistake with, is they tell half thinking it's enough. But we need to do an intentional ask and to be able to give people information. Another avoid going out and vomiting Arbonne over everybody, right? And people thinking that's suddenly all you're talking about. You still want to talk about everything else and find out what's happening in people's life. There's this saying that we want to make sure that we're more interested in other people rather than trying to be more interesting talking about what it is that we're doing. So really get curious and ask about other people. Avoid turning social situations into a chance to talk about Arbonne. You want to keep business and social separate. And if people are asking lots of questions, then you can just say, something like, since we're celebrating at the moment, let's meet for coffee next week and I'll tell you about it then, right? Great opportunity to respect their time right there and to do an ask for that coffee. Avoid arranging a coffee with someone to catch up and then pull out a gold bag. Don't ever do that, guys. Don't ever put someone on the spot like that because they feel like they've been tricked. You want to make sure people know that you want to meet them to share the business, right? Don't ever trick people into like, oh, why don't you come over? I'm having a few girlfriends over. Next thing you know, it's an Arbonne party, right? People don't like that. It makes our industry look bad. That's something Ray Higdon's been talking about, is that people don't hate network marketing. They hate network marketers because of how they've gone out and some of the silly things they've done as they're trying to build their business, right? Avoid plastering your business all over Facebook. I've been talking about this a lot, so I'm not even going to go through that much more. Avoid letting others' negativity affect you, right? If someone hasn't heard the full presentation and their questions are not based on fact, you know more than them. Avoid trying to convince anyone about Arbonne. Amateurs convince and professionals sort, right? It's our job to share this opportunity with someone and leave them alone to decide if it's a yes or no for them. Okay, it doesn't really matter either way. And this is one thing that we really want to teach, is being detached from the outcome. It's so hard, but if we can build, here's what I'm going to share. I really have made some strides on working on my vision these last few weeks and really feel like I found it, which is exciting. And I can feel, and I was telling a few people this past week, since I've gotten clear on my vision, it's like my vision is a coat of armor, because I don't have time to get disappointed or sad that someone said no, because my vision is too big to keep me stuck there for that moment. I need to go in and just talk to the next person, right? So that's part of, something that you kind of had to explore on your own, because if someone went to go and tell me that, if someone forced me to have a vision, I had to work on my vision on my own. You have to work on your why on your own. It's hard to just sit there and just come up with it in 10 minutes. I was searching for it since last fall, but just happened to hear the right person because I attended an event and I just happened to hear the right thing said, and it like smacked me in the face. I'm like, that's it. That is it. That's my vision. That makes so much sense to me. And that was key. So I don't have to spend time convincing people or anything, because I need to go out and I have a lot of work to do to really make my vision come true. So vision is something else that we can, talk about in future calls. Okay, I'm not going to go through commonly asked questions. We're going to go back to the PowerPoint. Okay. You got to move all of us to this side. I think we're almost there, guys. Hold on. Okay, here's something which I think you're going to like. For anybody who has messaged or reached out to someone and the person hasn't responded in 4 days or more. Now, many of us who've been doing Arbonne for a while probably have a massive list of people who haven't responded, and we haven't known what to say or do. So we kind of just left it, right? So I'm going to give you an opportunity to go to those people. Go to those people. That could be your asks for this week, is to touch base again with those people. And come in with posture, right? We're not going to go and say, hey, you never got back to me. Did you watch that video like you said you would? Or, hey, I reached out and asked you this and you never responded, right? Here's what you can say. Hey, just wanted to apologize. I've been so busy, building my business, or I've been so busy with my team and clients. I just wanted to reach out to you and follow up. How are you? That's it. I'm not going to ask them about, did you get my message? Have you had a chance to think about it? Have you tried the product, or have you watched the video? I'm going to say nothing about this business besides asking them, how are you? That's it. Well, sorry, the sentence before. You want to apologize for not following up, right? I've been so busy. Make sure the business is around your business, and I just wanted to reach out to you and follow up. How you doing? That's it. Now, here's the question that a lot of you are probably thinking, right? What happens if they don't respond to how are you? They still ignore it. This is where posture comes in. Who cares? Stop caring so much about what they think or care so much about that. Stop being addicted to the response. If they don't respond again, then wait a few weeks and message them and say, hey, I know this may not be a fit for you, but do you know someone who maybe wants better skin or has more energy or lose weight or make extra money? I just kind of threw those out there. You're asking for a referral. We're not nagging. We're not doing anything else. We are being professionals. We are being professionals, right? This goes to show someone that we are taking our business seriously. All right. And then if they don't respond to that, or if they have any idea, oh, this person is, she's asking me again. No, I'm serious about building my business. And these are the steps that I take to build my business. And hopefully you see that. Okay. So if you say, hey, sorry, let me go back. Hey, I can't come up with it right now. Hey, just want to apologize to you. I've been so busy with blah, blah, blah. I just want to reach out to you and follow up. How are you? If they respond with good or a thumbs up, and that's it, right? Think about what a postured person would do. What if they don't take the bait? That's what a lot of us would think. Then what we have to do is reel up your line and go and take it to another spot. Okay. So Ray gives a great example of this. He acted this out so well. So he kind of gave it a perspective from the person who did the good or thumbs up. And he was making a bit of a joke, because he said, okay, just say I'm the person who is writing the good or thumbs up, and I was with a buddy right next to me, and I could be like, hey, check out this network marketer. Let's watch and see what they're going to say when I do good or thumbs up. How are they going to respond? Now they have to ask me again, right? Because people could be thinking that. They may know that you're trying to bait them into conversation. Because we are trying to really put something out there to see what they can give you back. So if they respond to you with good or thumbs up, we want to just kind of move on, right? Obviously respond by, okay, I'm glad things are going well, or that thumbs up, or respond to that. But we want to be postured, we want to take the bait, and we want to move it to somewhere else, right? Learn to say less to more people. So if they gave you thumbs up or said good, then you can say, cool, that's awesome. Listen, I'm super busy, so I'll reach out to you in the next couple of weeks. Take care. So you let them know that you're not going to sit there and beg them for their business, or beg them to answer your question, or beg them to watch your video. But I just told them I'll touch base with them in a few weeks. I'm coming back, right? But I'm going to wait a few weeks before I come back, because I want them to know that I'm busy with other people. Okay? So we want to have that kind of posture. It's maintaining the energy, and it's really remembering that we are the prize, not them. Right? Stop acting like they're the prize. And listen, I don't want to make it sound so cold, like we don't care about other people. We absolutely do, but we don't need to beg people into this business, right? We want to make sure we're protecting ourselves, right? By not getting so emotionally attached and moving on, so we can go share this with the people who are open to hearing more about it. Okay, so we want to really create the fear of missing out for people. Right? We don't want to dance with them. We don't want to beg. We don't bug. We don't want to chase. We don't want to do any of that stuff. So, so that's all I really have on asking, but that was kind of a lot to go through tonight. Anybody have any questions about any of that stuff?
Sorry, did you say that all of this is going to be on our site, on the website?
So it already is. All this stuff, I'm going to show you where it is now, guys, since we're on here on the phone. All this stuff is, hold on, I said it's on the site, but just let me double check. I do have a s'more for it. Let me go to Creation Nation. Oops, I don't want to go to the, since I've updated the website, I doubt how much, sometimes I question if I actually finished putting things up, getting started. How to ask, let's go to how to ask. Oh, look, nothing happens until you ask. It's up there. Okay. How to ask. The 4-point handout's there, right? How to do 4-point ask. No, everything's on there. I'm going to do a link. I'm going to do a Facebook post tonight with some of the stuff that we talked about. So I'll put the things to avoid. I'll put that, I'm going to put that welcome s'more. It's not, I need to update it, but all of these things I've talked about, or a lot of them are in there. Okay, so I'm just going to put that up that you guys can browse through. I also want you in the s'more, which is right over here. Move, this needs to move. Sorry, I need to get this out of the way. Okay, let me go to s'mores. There's a video called Lean In, Lean Out. And guys, I highly recommend you watch this video. You listen to it. I'm going to make it your like recommended reading for the week. And if you can take a look, this one, I'm going to put this up there. Okay, so this has how to invite. This has things to avoid is right there. The 4-point ask, prospecting flow. And then where is lean in, lean out? It's down here. Lean in, lean out under success tip number 7. Really, I advise you guys to listen to this week. It is so good when she talks about the power, about maintaining energy. And that when sometimes, guys, when people lean out, you need to lean out too. And when they lean in, you need to lean in. It's really, really great language. So I highly recommend you listen to that. But when it comes to asking, I think, the biggest thing I want to have you take home tonight are 2 simple ways of asking, the direct and indirect approach. The direct approach being the 4-point ask. The indirect being, I need to get in front of 10 people in the next 30 days. Would you be willing to be one of my 10? Just want you to be some ears. I need to practice my presentation, or, I set a challenge for myself to get in front of 10 people. I'd love to just be able to share with you what it is I'm doing. Going in with posture when you're asking, right? And being detached from the outcome. Remember that what we're offering is the prize, that people don't know that sometimes they don't even know that they have problems or that they need a solution to, right? They don't know. And, one thing that I love, what I've read recently is that, and I know I've always said this, that I don't stop asking someone until they tell me to go F off. But I'm not crazy where I ask them like monthly. I will do, if it's a no for now, I'll say, is it okay if I touch base with you in 4 to 6 months? Because I've seen it happen with people where things change. And no one has ever said no. And I have full permission. I can take their name out of my head, put it in my calendar for 6 months from now. I don't have to think about them again, but I have someone else in 6 months that I can ask. And if it's no again, I can touch base with them again. Because too often, how many of you know someone that you've asked once or twice maybe, but then stopped following up and they joined another team or they joined another company, right? So things change with people. And my belief 100% is that every single person I share this with will be a part of my business somehow, some way, even if it's in another 10 years, right? They'll either be a customer or a consultant, or they may have referred me someone amazing. That's my belief. Because I am professional and I consistently follow it up, and they see that, after 8 years, I'm still doing this. I'm not going anywhere, right? And I want to be the person that when something changes in their life, or when they know of someone who needs a business or product, they can say, I know a girl. That's the tagline I want this team to think about. For Dean, you want them to say, I know a guy. I know this guy. I know this guy who does his business, and he sells his product, or who helps people with weight loss, or who has earned an extra $500 a month. Be that person. Because if it's not you they refer, they're going to refer someone else, right? And if it's not you who follows up, someone else is going to ask them. Okay, so remember there's 2 ways to ask. for this next little bit until I start adding. You can layer in some other ways to ask as well. Posture, go into it with posture. Listen to lean in and lean out. And if you can read your Ein Arbon story weekly, every day. Every day one's going to come up on Creation Nation. And, you know, feel free to reach out. Let me know where it is that you feel like you've lost some confidence and that you feel like you want to review sooner rather than later. So I know what trainings to bring first to the team. But if you have any questions, guys, oh my gosh, it's 9:42. Okay, I'm going to stop talking. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm going to take you off screen share here, so you're going to pop up. And if you don't, I appreciate you guys. I love that the screen is filling up with people. It's amazing. So thank you for being on. And yeah, tomorrow's Monday. Set your goal, guys. No more, don't let another week go by without asking at least one, right? Set your own number. What is the number of people that you'll reach out to this week? Even if it's the following up with people who ignored you and using that method. Okay, so I'll post a recording to this tonight. I'll post the link to the s'more. And anything else I said I would. I have to go back and think about it. All right. Great first meeting for my awesome. Good to see you, Dean. We missed you. Miss seeing your faces. You too, Ashley. All right. Thanks for being on, guys. We will see you next week, and I'll post everything in a little bit. Okay. All right. See ya.